Hello all my Kenvians, PapaKenn here, bringing you what will hopefully be a quick little review for Star Wars The Last Jedi. I had actually meant to record this review a bit sooner, but after seeing it, got really busy and distracted, and you kind of know how it goes with me. But again, I just wanted to give some quick thoughts about it. There's been a lot of criticism about this movie, primarily from the fans. Critically, it seems to be... I can't remember if it's necessarily one of the best reviewed when it comes to the critics, but it's definitely been one of the more stark contrasts between critical reviews and the popular, or not the popular opinion, but basically the public as far as their ratings for a Star Wars movie. And I will say that, I don't know if it has to do necessarily with me, trying to do reviews, trying to be more professional about it, per se, but I definitely side more with the critical reviews, or reviews from critics, essentially. I really liked Star Wars The Last Jedi, and if you're a fan at all of the Star Wars movies, I'm not even going to bother talking about any of the plot or anything like that, because I think it's worth seeing and I don't want to risk accidentally spoiling anyone on this. For me, Star Wars has been one of the longest running franchises in my life. I have enjoyed, I was going to say most of the movies that have come out. We don't speak of the prequels, but especially with the new movies that have come out. Now, I'll admit, I still have not seen Rogue One. I don't know why I haven't seen Rogue One yet, but I still haven't seen it. Whenever I do get the time to give it a watch, I'll definitely make sure to do a review giving my opinion on it there. But as far as the two, core new movies, which are The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I personally loved The Force Awakens. I honestly did. And I know some people that didn't care for it for certain reasons because they felt it was too similar to A New Hope. Not all of those, I don't completely disagree with them on that end, but it didn't bother me the same way it did. And then a lot of people were saying that The Last Jedi was way too similar to Empire Strikes Back. And I can see some similarities overall, or some people saying that they were trying too hard to make The Last Jedi the new Empire Strikes Back. And I can kind of see it in that regard. But overall, it's a solid movie. It is a great new entry into the Star Wars franchise, and I want to see it again. Both me and my wife do. They had an excellent mix of the drama, of humor, and the humor, while some of it did feel a bit too immature at times, maybe, but knowing that there are going to be kids going to see this, it's kind of inevitable, it's Star Wars. But it was, the jokes were appropriate for all ages, and just overall, everything about this movie summed up into a nice, solid Star Wars entry. There were things that happened that I personally wasn't expecting at all. There were certain character relationships that went in directions that I never would have thought of to begin with, but by the end of the movie, I was starting thinking, wait a second, are they? And so yeah, again, not trying to do my best to not give away any of the plot. But there is one thing that I do want to say, and hopefully this isn't too spoilery or anything like that, but in this movie, there is one overall issue that I really just can't look past, and it drives me crazy that I can't. But we do see Master Snoke, or whatever his name is, but I'll just call him Snoke. We do finally get to see Snoke, the big bad guy, the big Sith Lord, that we only saw through a hazy hologram in The Force Awakens. And in this movie, the reason, well, basically, he is the one big problem I have with this movie. And it's primarily because he's CGI. Now, I know not everyone has seen them, but if you've seen the Hobbit movies that came out, there was the White Orc, who was essentially the, other than Smaug, the big bad of the Hobbit movies. And looking at that character's face design, and then there was also the Goblin King in the first movie, looking at that character's face design, if you put those side by side with Snoke, you will see a lot of very similar facial features, facial expressions, the way they talk, and I just could not look past it. It's like, if you put Emperor Palpatine next to Master Snoke, or Sith Lord Snoke, whatever he is, side by side, by today's standards, Palpatine isn't that scary. He's creepy looking, but not scary. And had they gone with, like, just prosthetics, not CGI for this character, he would have been more intimidating. But he wasn't, because he didn't look real. He didn't look like something that was there to be fought. And because of that, it just, whenever he was on screen, it just, any like real intimidation I was supposed to be getting from the character just wasn't there. Because again, my mind kept flashing over to the White Orc. I was just like, the way that the face is moving, the way that the face looks, they're almost exactly the same. And again, I just couldn't look past that. And it was really surprising, given that there are so many things in this movie that are clearly CGI, but look really good. Because chances are that there are physical objects there on screen, and the CGI is used to enhance them, as opposed to this character who, I'm sure there's someone there, like Andy Serkis, if I was saying his name right, someone there that the CGI was superimposed on, but the fact that it looked so fake was just a real issue for me. So I know I'm going over and over on that, so I'll leave the complaints there. But yeah, overall, he was the one true issue that I had with this movie. Besides that, honestly, in my opinion, if you're a fan of Star Wars and you're excited to see more Star Wars, do not pass up this movie. If you want to talk about some of the issues you had about with it, that's fine. We can talk about it in the comments down below. So, if you haven't seen Star Wars The Last Jedi yet, I recommend not reading the comments. But if you want to have a discussion about, some of the things you liked or you didn't like, I'm open for that. But as a whole, it was a good, solid Star Wars film that I'm excited to see again in theaters, and I'm excited to own on Blu-ray and DVD. So yeah, 2 big thumbs up from me on Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I'm excited to see what we're going to get out of the 9th episode. Because of certain things that have happened, such as the death of Carrie Fisher, I personally think that episode 9 is going to take place several years in the future, as opposed to a very short amount of time that span between episodes 7 and 8. But that's my theory on it, at least. But again, that aside, I'm looking forward to episode 9 whenever it comes out. We'll have, I guess, the Han Solo movie to look forward to, and other things as well. So it'll be a few years before we have to worry about, another episodic entry into the Star Wars lore. So again, let me know your all's thoughts in the comments down below. Please try to keep it civil, especially if you didn't care for the movie. But until next time, everyone, I'm PapaKenn, and I will see you in the next video.